This channel is supported by my online fishing courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner, as well as my books. And remember, those books make great gifts. You can learn more about the books at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, I'm going to fluke fish. I'm in the Sound. It's pretty rough. It's a lot rougher than it was supposed to be, but it's supposed to calm down. It's kind of crowded. Figure it out. Got wind against current. Gonna have to use a trolling motor to start. I just put down. I mean, I gotta get used to all this new stuff. All right, I just put down, immediately hooked up. It's like a short. Boy, I'll tell you though, I don't know if that's a short. I mean, it's rough. I don't have a good handle on the drift. I think that's probably going to be good. I mean, that's almost, we'll see. Just didn't have the camera on, just trying to get my act together here. Oh, that's a 19.5 mark there. It's not a 19 mark, so yeah, I think he's definitely good. He's almost 19 and a half. Wow. First drop. Yeah, I'm trying to deal with I've got wind on an angle against the current, and I'm trying to get my trolling right, and I just dropped the line down, didn't reach up to put my camera on, and boom, fish. And yeah, so one keeper absolutely immediately. I'll have links to all of the gear in the video description, and if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. And this is Eastern Long Island. All right, I've got incoming current pushing from behind me, and I've got a wind coming at about 1 o'clock on my bow. I'm just using the trolling motor to reduce the impact of the wind. So I'll be using that trolling motor the entire trip, and one of the things I'll be doing with it is every time I hook up, I'll hit spot lock just to hold the boat in place. I mean, I'm by myself. I might as well hold it in place and not waste any of the drift. That helps me stay on the fish very well. Now, I only feel okay about doing that if I'm not impacting anybody else. Like, if, I don't want to be stopping the boat on a drift line where there's other people, but you know what? I can move away. I've fished this. I've lived near here for like 28 years before moving to Greenport, and I still fish it. So yeah, I've got spots. I'll move away from the boats. Not that I'm actually in them right now, but I'm gonna get to a spot well by myself and not have to worry about impacting anybody by spot locking on the drifts when I get a fish. Boy, this one's going to be close. Yeah, he's 19 and a half. I'm on my first drift here, and I've got 2 keepers. All right, the New York limit is 3 fish at 19 inches. You would think if I could catch 2 keepers in like 7 minutes, I could get a pretty quick limit. Yeah, not quite. That limit fish is always the hardest to get, especially this trip. Okay, I draw your attention to the right-hand side of the fish finder screen, the big, huge blob on there. Okay, you're going to see a lot of this. Now, this is a newer unit for me. This is a Humminbird Explorer. It's also the first time I'm bringing my boat onto this fishery, so it's the first time I'm seeing the sand eel schools with this machine. And yeah, they're, you know, maybe I have the sensitivity up a little too high, or maybe there's just a lot of sand eels, and that actually could be it, because I've used the fish finder on this setting for bass fishing, and it's been awesome. So yeah, you're going to see some big balls near the bottom, and it's going to turn out when I'm on those things, that's when I'm getting fish. I have no idea what this is. I mean, I'm getting bit. There we go. I know what that is. Oh, 2. So I'm guessing that was bait I went over, because look at them. Oh. Yeah, just, you know what, I back those grubs off, twist it, put it back. I don't care if the tail's pointing up, down, sideways, does not matter. You can catch so many fish on 1 4-inch gulp grub. Somebody commented on my channel the other day how he thought squid was cheaper. Well, hey, to each his own. I can catch a lot of fish on a gulp grub. They're perfect size for this fishery. And so when I'm on the schools of sand eels, when the fish are on the schools of sand eels, for my teaser I use just a plain hook. I use a 3/0 Saltex bait holder hook. Put the grub right on that, and a profile very similar to the sand eels that they're feeding on. And of course the same 4-inch grub on the bucktail. And the bucktail weights I use here generally around 1 ounce, 3/4, 1.5 is actually on the heavy end. Yeah. What do we got here? Well, I'm gonna swing them. Yeah. I'll swing them. I'm gonna measure them. Clearly on a bite here now. The nice thing is, with nobody around me, what I can do is spot lock every time I hook up. And I'm not losing ground. If I got a bunch of guys around me, I can't do that. That's gonna be close. It is going to be close. I don't think so. Nope. So these must be bait balls here, because when I'm finding these, I'm catching. So I should get bit here. Yeah, right there he is. Sure. Alright, I've got the bait and the fish, and I've got them way away from everybody. Alright, gotta get my third keeper on this drift, because this looks really good. Just have a good line through the marks and mark and bait. Here we go. Just gonna have to weed through a bunch of shorts. It also helps if I got to stay here by myself. And again, to be clear, it's not that I can't stop and spot lock if there's other boats around. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. So, you know, I'm way away from everybody right now, and yeah, do what I want. So you see, I've got the trolling motor controller in my left hand like the whole time. So I used to use the little mini remote, just a few buttons. And this is the newer motor. I know I should look these things up. There'll be a link in the video description. You know, it's the Tarova Quest, the newer one with the brushless motors. They're quieter, they're more powerful. But the remote that goes with it is a little smaller than the full remote that the my older trolling motor had. And what's nice about this is, besides seeing the motor power, the speed, I can also see the depth, because the Humminbird fish finder talks to the trolling motor, and then the depth ends up appearing on that little remote, so I can see everything I need to see right on there. Wow, look at this. This is boy, when you hit into that, you catch. Yeah, I was confused in the beginning about those bait balls on the fish finder, only because they're so massive that I thought that, oh, you know, maybe it's a sensitivity issue. Maybe I'm picking up, sometimes you can pick up particulate matter in the water, you know, debris, whatever. No, it's actually bait, and the fish are spitting up bait. You know, when I catch fish in those bait balls, you know, they're regurgitating those sand eels. So that's what's got the fish here, big schools of sand eels. All right, tide's starting to turn around. So what I'll be doing quite soon is, you know, the problem is it had been blowing west, which I'm facing west right now. It had been blowing west pretty hard all night. So you kind of get this set in the upper portion of the water. Water depth is like 20 feet. And that upper water gets moving. And yeah, so even when the wind calms down, I'm going to be using that trolling motor to basically slow the drift down. I'm going to first be using it as a drift sock to slow the drift down, but then I'm going to stay on it, and you know, plus using the spot lock during the drifts every time I hook up, it's going to work out just great. And you hear those frequent beeps. That's me changing the speed, just tweaking it. Generally like 0.7 to 1.1 miles an hour this particular day, and I'm doing that by feel, you know, just to get the right angle on the line. So sometimes if a grub's been on a very long time, because like I said, I can catch a lot of fish on one grub. If it's been on a really long time, I'll throw it back in the juice. Clearly I lost a grub there, so that's, you know, I went to the tub to get a grub. But the fact that that white one's in with a bunch of green ones tells me I took it off at one point and just stuck it in there to recharge. All right, not a fluke. That's a sundial, also called the window pane flounder. When I was a kid, boy, there were a lot of these along the beach. Starting to see more and more of them again. They're so thin you can like see through them. There's really like not much meat on them. Measure him. He's long. That might make it. I'll be surprised if this one doesn't make it. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Okay, it's gonna be plenty more than good, I think. Yeah, after getting 2 keepers in the first like 7 minutes of the trip, it took about 2 more hours to get that limit fish. But all right, well, that's the way it is sometimes. All right, to be clear, I'm drifting backwards right now. When I hook up and hit spot lock, the motor's going to accelerate and hold me in place. When I take it out of spot lock, I'm going to drift backwards. It's giving me a perfect drift. And there's very little wind left, but like I said, the upper water is moving faster than the bottom water. Figures. You know, you get that third keeper and then the fourth one's easy. It could be. It could very well be. And it's not. You know, it is that current's moving. That's a keeper. I'm going to obviously swing them. Well, I'm going to net this one because I don't want to swing him over the side. Huh, interesting. What a fight. Oof. Look at those sand eels. I think he's probably good. Oh, he's definitely good. Yep, definitely hit him. Oh. Oh, it's definitely got keeper potential there. I'll be really surprised if this one doesn't make it. Huh. I don't think so. I'm not going to find out either. Look at this. Kind of curious, just because, you know what, let's see. Nope, nope, nope. So I ended up with 5 keepers. Hey, you know, no real big ones, but the action is so good, and you know, generally we're getting enough keepers out here doing this, and it's just great to see so many fish. The baits really got them packed in, and from my understanding, these go well west up the Sound, so it's great. It's like the opposite of what I've observed in other places this year. So. All right, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Check out my online courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner. And don't forget my books. And remember, those books make great gifts. You can learn more about the books at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon.